Hello and welcome to another knitting pod. I am Lena. Thank you so much for being here. If you are new, welcome to my channel. If you are returning, I apologize for the several weeks gap. I can't even remember how long it's been since I taped, but we're here now and let's jump right into it. We are going to talk about the state of my knitting projects. I really like having multiple knitting projects going at the same time because, you know, you don't always want to knit the same thing. I know some people are purely one project from start to finish, but I have found over the years that sometimes I like to have heavier yarn. Sometimes I like to have a thinner yarn. Sometimes I like a thought-provoking pattern, that I really have to focus on. Other times I just want to zone out and knit stockinette. So depending on my mood, I like to have different projects. Now, over the last 6 months, my life has shifted a lot. As a lot of you know, if you're returning, I went back to school. So I don't have the same time, and therefore a lot of projects have been languishing, which has led me, now that it's summer and I'm taking the summer from classes off, I'm trying to evaluate my projects. What do I want to finish? What do I want to frog? And I thought we could do this together. I don't think there's any shame in ripping out a project. I personally love the fact that with knitting, you can just rip it out and use the yarn for something else. So, and if it's, sometimes I've had projects that are impossible to knit out and you just kind of have to chuck them in the trash, which absolutely is heartbreaking. But I don't like things just sitting on forever. So I definitely wanted to have this time with you guys to go through my projects and show you what I've decided to frog and what I've decided to keep and keep on working. Where to start? Why don't we start with what's right next to me, what I never contemplated frogging, and what I'm really trying to finish. Very, very motivated to finish this because I want this shawl off the needles so I can use it this summer for all my travels. I always am cold. I just tend towards being cold, and especially in airports, on planes, in restaurants when we travel. I want this shawl because the colors are just spectacular. I am talking about the Feelgood shawl by Andrea Mowry. I have made so much progress on it, you guys. This is, let me just try to show you the top to bottom, both front and back. This is technically the front, very hard to get. Let me just put it in front of my face. The bottom is going to not want to stretch out. So, and then this is the back. I'll show you from the bottom up. Here it is. So I am at the very end of this project. I had not touched it forever. Brioche is one of those things for me that either I'm into it or I'm not. And that's why this was kind of, in my mind, when I cast this on, undoubtedly a long-term project. I've talked about this before in past episodes. When I cast this on, I have never cast on a full brioche shawl, with good reason, because it's quite an endeavor. If you do not know what brioche is, basically you're creating a double-sided fabric, so you're knitting each row twice. That is not for the faint of heart. That's basically like knitting two things, but you're only getting one thing out of it. However, I really like projects that remind me of process. I think so much of my life is spent racing towards the next thing. It's not just knitting, it's just life. Like from one weekend, you're just thinking about the next weekend. If you're in winter, maybe you're thinking about, oh my God, I can't wait till it's spring. If something can help me practice being present and just enjoying the thing as it is, I'm here for it. So this was kind of a project that I was trying to develop some of that discipline of staying present and enjoying the process of knitting and not waiting for the product, because I don't know if you guys have had this experience, but I have rushed through projects just dying to have the finished object. And then when I have the finished object, it's not like I love it, but it's just not that like sparkling moment where this project is just has completed me as a person. It's never that. So I just really wanted to have this and enjoy the process of it. The first part is 2-color brioche. The second part is 1-color brioche, which I had never done and enjoyed so much because it goes by much faster because you're not having to slide the stitches. You're just knitting back and forth. And then the bottom, what she calls the border, is double brioche, which I had never done, which is probably my least favorite to execute of all three of these, but it is quite beautiful. It gives you this, it's very kind of obvious. It's got double rows. So you got 2 columns and then 2, whatever you call that, the background part. It's just slower even than regular brioche because so if you can see here, the part that recedes has a yarn over both. So when you knit that or purl it, you have to knit it, drop off the stitch, and make sure the yarn over is still on the needle so you can then knit the other stitch with the yarn over. The fussy part about that is that a lot of times the yarn over will fall off and you have to pull it back on. So it is a very slow process. I honestly think if you wanted to make this shawl and you don't want to fuss with the double brioche, just do single brioche. I don't think it's necessary to do the double. I just don't know if the impact, you guys tell me what you think about the impact of it. It's definitely just a bolder, more graphic look than regular brioche, like the first panel. I made this out of Wandering Flock yarn. This is Electric Orchid. This is Hundreds and Thousands, I believe that's what it's called. And then I think this hot yellow, the highlighter yellow, is called YOLO, I think. And then this purple is a old Melted Baby Suri alpaca from Chink Fibers that I've had in my stash for years. Don't remember the name, but I'm pretty sure it was a limited edition colorway. And then this gorgeous, fluffy, it's like a celery kind of color, is Sadness Garn in the Coast base. I can't remember the color. I always forget it, like every single time. It just never sticks in my mind. So anyway, this is coming along. I definitely wasn't thinking about frogging it, but I was sort of dreading getting back into it. I'd kind of worn myself out of the fun during this section. And then once I got kind of a few rows into here, I let it languish. And so when I picked it up, I really had to reacclimate myself to the pattern, like where the increases are. I find myself making mistakes when I let a project kind of just sit and I don't touch it for a while. I'm sure I'm not the only one. You just have to orient yourself to the pattern, and then you tend to make mistakes. And I was making mistakes. So I have had to knit back a lot. And they were dumb mistakes. Like instead of, if I was on the right side, instead of knitting the purple, I was purling it. Like I just wasn't thinking. I was kind of going on autopilot, and then I'd have to rip back, and it was driving me crazy. But we're back on track, and I'm really, this weekend, my husband and son have been out of town, and my daughter and I have been here alone, and it's been absolutely glorious. As much as I miss my boys, they're like my life, but she's super into making friendship bracelets right now. She is like, this is the most obsessed I've ever seen her with any form of making. It's just, she's making friendship bracelets the way I used to knit. It's been kind of up and down for me lately, but she's just devouring it. Do you know what I mean? Like finding intricate patterns and making really beautiful things, and just seeing her so engaged in it makes me so, so, so happy. So we've both been engaged in our own things, and like hours can go by where she's doing that and I'm doing this, and we're in the same room, but we're So all weekend, I have done nothing but work on this because I am so determined to finish it before our trip next week. This is taking forever. I cannot believe how slow it's feeling, but I am enjoying it. Now that I got back into it, I really am enjoying it. So I am just determined to stay focused and not get distracted. Let me show you real quick how pretty these yarns are. This one has such gorgeous tones in it. I just love it. It's a huge pain in the butt to knit with, especially double brioche, because the fluff is so fluffy that you have to make sure you actually get that stitch, the actual core of the fiber. And sometimes I find that I think I did, but I didn't. And then I have to kind of go down and pull that column back up. The nice thing is it's so sticky, it's not going to unravel. It kind of just stays where it is. So I think the result of a fluffy yarn held with a non-fluffy yarn for brioche is spectacular. Is it fun? Not as much. So what I love about this shawl is it has both, fluff and different colors and different textures, and even, the melted baby suri doesn't have the same fluffiness as this coast base. It just looks different. It has speckles. This one is solid. So I just love everything about this shawl. The colors make my heart sing, you guys. It's like, I was telling my daughter, like, it reminds me of dreamsicle. Like, it just has that neon pastel. It's magical. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to be done with it so I can wrap myself up in it, but enjoying the process. Okay, so here's one that I'm undoubtedly finishing, very close to the finish line. Let's do a frog. How about that? Now this one, a lot of times before I let myself put something in the frog pile, so there's two types of things that I will rip out. One type of project that I'll rip out is just the fit is not working at all. Like there's no redeeming it. Then the second is I'm just not enjoying the process. And I've gotten far enough in that I know it. A lot of times with those projects, I force myself to spend a little more time back in it because sometimes once you give yourself a little time to get back into it, you're like, oh no, I really am loving this. I don't even need to do this. I know I don't want to finish it, which was very disappointing because I love the look of this. It's just, I don't love the process and I don't love the way mine is turning out. And that is the Calla shawl by Natasha Hornsby. So Danny is snoring. Oh, y'all, some things absolutely never change. And some of you can't hear it, some of you can, but it drives me bonkers. I'm gonna have to pause and move her in a minute. But so it is so pretty, but it is so tedious, you guys. It's a beautiful, I can't even remember. No, it's cables. These little calla lily flower shapes are made by cables and yarn overs and stuff like that. It is never going to be a project I can do without looking at the chart very intensely. It's just a project that you have to pay attention to in order to execute well. And if you make a mistake fudging it, which is definitely my preferred method of dealing with mistakes, it's not very easy. It's just is not a fun project. Like I love cables. If you've watched my channel before, I've made, cabled things and I love them. They're my preferred technique when I want something challenging. Don't love this cable pattern. Also, I don't love this pattern in this color. I don't know, this color, like her sample is in this beautiful charcoal gray. I don't know, in this color, I thought it would be beautiful, but it's just not working for me. I love this yarn. It's the Rowan felted tweed. The colorway is sulfur, but I used this yarn to make the heirloom quilt cardigan. And I love it for that, but I don't love it in this. I'm not loving the process. I don't love the yarn. I don't love the color. I don't really love the way the broken rib looks. It feels messy to me. I just don't see myself finishing this. So this is definitely in the rip out pile. And as you can see, I'm in pretty deep. Like I've finished an entire section of the calla lilies and I just can't do it. So this guy is going to go in the frog pile. Now the question becomes, what am I going to do with the yarn? If you have any thoughts or ideas, I have a lot of sulfur because I bought it for this project. And then I have a lot of left over other colors in Rowan felted tweed. So I'm thinking of making, I don't know, something else, maybe a pressed flowers shawl or something like that. I don't know. I really wish I had not bought so much of this because I can't see myself making a sweater out of this. Maybe tell me what you think. I really don't know. If you have any ideas, I welcome them. I look forward to ripping it out. I had not ripped it out yet because I wanted to show you, but I hate, yeah, see, this has my ChowGoo interchangeables on here, and I really look forward to ripping it out. And I'm not gonna wash the yarn. I'm just gonna wind it into balls. Okay, I know she's not really snoring now, but I'm gonna move her and I'll be right back. Okay, I was just thinking, it just occurred to me that I am wearing right now the Jessie Made Designs. This is the open edge tee, and I actually have the shorts on. It's her pattern of hers called the flutter butt shorts or something like that. They're the little shorts with the ruffles, and I made them both in this linen quill fresh nutmeg. And I forgot that I had made these shorts because it's been cold and now it's just barely getting warm. So I pulled out the shorts today and I thought I'm gonna wear the whole set, and it's so cute. I cannot stand it. My ideal clothing choice is pajamas, like the button down kind, like the little sets. And in the summer, I really like the short sets. And this feels like that, but just hand knit. And I love it so much. I'm thinking I could make a whole set out of this, and that would be really cute. My only concern is that it doesn't feel like fingering weight. I don't know what the technical weight of this yarn is, but I think it'd be fine to make a little set like this. So that is an option for what I could do with this yarn. And this color would be really fun because I just wear it in the house. It's not like I would go to dinner in this, but I don't need to go to dinner in a full knit suit like a child. Anyway, so we shall see. This is definitely coming off the needles extremely soon. Now here's another project that, I'm gonna have a sip of water, sorry. Here is a project that I was this close to ripping out I just don't want to do this anymore. And then I forced myself to pick it back up and try, and realized I actually really love this project. And I'm so glad I have that methodology because, anyway, let me show you. This is the Minster cowl by Linda Bjork Eriksdotter. It is so cute. Okay, I love it. But I have never been a big color work person because I'm a rule follower to the extreme. It's just, if the directions to something said, spin 3 times counterclockwise before you begin, I would do that. I'm just that kind of person. I don't have a rebellious bone in my body, but this is so funny. My friend Jessica loves color work and has always done a lot of color work. And the last time we were talking about color work, I was telling her about this project and I was hating it because catching the floats was becoming such a pain. And she said she never catches floats in her color work. And I was just aghast. The rule follower in me was like, what? You're supposed to catch floats. And then I realized if ever there was a time to not catch floats, it's this, because yes, there's a ton of floats here, but the project is done in the round, and then you are going to seal all those floats inside this tube, and never shall they have the, contact with your body. It's not like a sweater where when you put it on, you could get something caught in one of the floats. Also, you could get something caught in the float even if you caught it. And yes, the tension might be affected by a really long float. It's either don't catch the floats or I never do color work, because it's just such a pain. But when you're not catching the floats, I actually really enjoy the rhythm of color work, where you're being mindful with the pattern, but it's not fussy. It's just fun. And once I tried out not catching the floats, I really have enjoyed this project. I love it because it's small, and so you get to finish these motifs in very reasonable chunks of time, and it's so satisfying to see these motifs come to life. Like, look how gorgeous that is. And these are traditional Icelandic motifs that she's designed into this cowl. You could, one thought I had when I was not enjoying it was to make it just short so that it would be a single, but I really wanted the full length because it's so cold here. I find cowls to be really helpful in the winter. And what I liked about this is you could twist it around your neck and then use the second half as a hood to keep your ears warm. I love that idea, and I am totally finishing this. So as you can see, it has such fun motifs. There's a deer at the bottom, then there's some hearts, then there's this kind of abstract bit, stars, tree, this adorable chicken. And then now I'm up doing a lionish motif. I'm here. Once I picked this up to try to just see if I enjoyed it, I couldn't put it down. And I ended up doing all of this in a couple of days. And then the only reason I've put it down was because I really want to finish this shawl. This is something I'm not going to use because it's not cold right now, but I am enjoying it so much. So unexpected. What a lovely treat. And I am glad because I bought needles just for this project. I bought, what's it called? Addies, because I love the way they feel. And I bought it for this because I didn't have a pair of the right size available and the right cord. And so I'm glad that because I bought that, I'm using stash yarn. The blue is Pearl Soho linen quill in dark denim. And then this yellow is Cascade 220 in whatever this neon yellow, I don't know what it's called, highlighter yellow maybe. I really like it because the motifs really pop out, and it's just gorgeous. I really, really like it. Also, so the Pearl Soho linen quill is non-superwash. This is superwash, but I think as long as one of your yarns is superwash, it's preferable to have both, but I feel like it's holding the shape really well. So yeah, the one other thing I need to be careful about is blocking it. I would be devastated if this color ran. So I'll check, I'll try to see, and if the colors bleed, then I might just steam it, or I might put like 1,000 Shout color catchers to make sure it doesn't bleed. I have had bleeding happen with linen quill in the past. Not the dark denim, but I can't remember what color that I've had. But so that is the Minster cowl that I am undoubtedly keeping. Now, this project was never a potential for ripping out, but I just haven't shown it to you in so long that I thought I'd take the chance to show it to you. It is made exclusively out of linen quill, so might as well talk about it while we were talking about linen quill. This is the Rain or Shine blanket by Stephen West. If you've been with me before, you've seen this growing. I love this pattern, you guys. It is just a delight to knit, and it is so stunningly beautiful. For someone like me who loves bright colors, it's just an absolute joy. I am well past the halfway point. So the halfway point is obviously where the biggest part of the blanket is, and then you start decreasing. This blanket is a giant square. I'm just gonna show parts of it. It's very hard to see it all, but it is an absolute beauty. I love it so much. I've held linen quill double. I used the linen quill minis packs. I've used 2. So because I wanted to make it really big, I bought 2 packs, and I don't know what amount I'll have left over, but I've definitely gone over the 1 pack. So if you're gonna make it 1 pack, it would definitely be a smaller size. I just wanted this to be huge and cozy, and it is nothing if it's not huge and cozy. I have used in certain places an extra strand of mohair. So certain places I've carried 3. Here's one of those places I've used, and I'm using, let's see, I have it right here. The Knitting for Olive. This is, I can't remember the colorway, but like in this section, I'll be using these 3 together. So love this so much. This is definitely one of those knits where I have no timeline on it. I think it won't be too long because once you start decreasing, it starts going by really fast. But it is let's see, you're decreasing 1 stitch every row. So each section you decrease 8 stitches? It kind of reminds me of the half and half triangles wrap. If you enjoyed that, I feel like you would love this pattern. I was okay with that pattern. Some people, it's like a love it or hate it pattern. Some people are just like, oh my God, why would anybody knit this? It's so slow and it's all garter stitch, so it's kind of boring. But that's kind of, on the other hand, can be soothing knitting, right? Just rhythmic garter stitch, and then it's short rows. I feel like this is much more fun because the color changes keep it so interesting, but it's just as mindless. You truly, the first row of each section, you're gonna start slipping that stitch, which you keep slipping, but it's just as mindless. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to pause it. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm so sorry for the interruption again. My parents are in Africa and my mom was calling me, so I didn't feel like I could reject that call because I haven't been able to chat with them, so I needed to take that call. So anyway, I don't remember where we were, but highly recommend this. You guys, if you've seen my podcast before, probably have seen this, but the linen quill is just an absolutely spectacular yarn for this project. I had a bunch of like grays and natural colors that I did throw in here that are a different company that I can't remember right now, but it's very similar to linen quill. So I wanted to make my blanket even bigger. So I did add some other grays. I don't remember the brand, but you don't have to do that. Even the back is so beautiful, but the way that this marling with solid colors, you know, when you drop one and pick up the other, it creates just such a beautiful blended fade that you can't beat it. It's so pretty and fun. I cannot wait to be able to snuggle under this blanket. I have to say, I am enjoying making a blanket more than I thought. I used to think I would never, ever want to make a hand knit blanket, but I really am enjoying it. I feel like my camera is crooked now that I have messed with it. Sorry. Okay. Amateur hour, y'all. Amateur hour. Okay, the last project that is a definite rip out that I'm very sad about is this Renunculus I made out of Ritual Dyes Maven base in the colorway Jewelweed. I love the Renunculus. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I have made one that was one of my favorite pieces I've ever knit in this exact yarn, this exact colorway. And I thought this would be a perfect second Renunculus. Absolutely did not translate to this yarn. There's something about this linen quill, possibly because it is a linen alpaca wool blend. I think that's the three. This is 100% Rambouillet wool, and it just doesn't have the drape. I mean, I've made it exactly the same gauge, same everything, and it just doesn't fit nice at all. I don't like it. And this yarn is not only beautiful, but extraordinarily expensive. And I cannot leave it, despite the fact that I am literally done. I am going to be ripping this out. It has been sitting in my closet for months, and it is time for me to rip this out because I want to make something with this yarn. Is it not just gorgeous? I mean, it's a beautiful non-superwash, which I love non-superwash yarn, but this is just doesn't fit well. This morning I found a pattern that I thought would be so gorgeous in this. I don't know if I'm going to knit that in this or something very simple. Like I would love to make something like this, a V-neck sweater with long sleeves. But I'm going to have to build in more ease because this doesn't have the same drape and I like looser garments. I will try to remember to pop a picture because I don't remember the name, the designer, anything. It was a European designer, I believe. I don't remember her name or anything. But I want to use this yarn for something that I will really, really enjoy wearing. And so either that or just like a simple V-neck fingering weight sweater. It might be a good travel piece. I don't know. What I'm dreading ripping it out because I don't want to have to re-block this yarn. So I'm contemplating just taking the shortcut of winding it into a ball and knitting it as is, and then whatever. I honestly think it'll be fine. Sometimes I do wash the yarn, rewind it, all that. I just don't think I have the bandwidth for that. And I also don't quite remember how much of this yarn I have. I believe I had 4 balls of the 450-gram balls. So I kind of need to figure out how much yarn do I have? How much will that work in a project? So all of that is kind of up in the air. I have no idea what I'm going to do about it. I haven't gotten that far. All I know is this guy's going to Ripsky land. It is not working. This is the double-edged sword of re-knitting a pattern. So we tend to re-knit things we love, but if we use a different yarn, we really need to be mindful of the fact that it is not going to be exactly the same. And I am almost wanting to extend that to say that even if you use the same yarn, so I feel like even if I made a Renunculus out of linen quill, it might not end up being exactly the way the other one is. You know, our tension when we knit depends on how we're feeling. It depends on so many things, and that changes, and that really affects the product. I'm telling you this. Like, I've had projects where I've knit something when I'm stressed and it is so tight, and then like as the project has gone and my mood has changed, the gauge changes so much. So re-knitting something can be tricky because you think, oh, I'm using this pattern, I'm getting my money's worth from this $10 pattern, but sometimes it can actually just be like this, a complete backfire. Now it's just like double the work. I got to rip it out. I got to figure something else out. I really don't want to have to buy another ball of this because as much as I love this color, I bought this because Kai and I, my daughter and I, were in Portland and I wanted to get something in person when we visited Ritual Dyes, but this is pricey. I believe it's $30 a ball for 50 grams. That is like bonker balls expensive. So this is, and it's not like for Spin Cycle, which is like this super unique, incredibly, just like as, yeah, it's like a butterfly to me. Like nothing, it's never going to be replicated. That each ball is so unique. It's like a collector's item. This is not like that. So I would definitely not repurchase this. And I don't want to have to buy another 50-gram ball. So whatever I make, I would like it to be, made out of this amount of yarn. So once I rip it out, I will weigh it all and figure out how much I have, and then we'll go from there. I mean, I think it would be adorable in this little suit, but since this is that exact same yarn and I know this doesn't drape the same, I might not do that. I think it just needs to be its own project. I don't know which project, but I will figure it out and let you guys know. All right, that is all the knitting content I have for today. Thank you for hanging in with me on all that disjointed, constantly interrupted chatting. Let's quickly talk a little bit about life and books and shows because I have so much to share with you. So when I was doing my classes for the last 6 months, it's been impossible to read or watch shows or knit a lot because it's just been incredibly time consuming. I love studying, I love academics, so I just definitely have fallen headfirst into that world. And it's been hard to have space between parenting and running my normal life and school to do much of anything else. But since this last quarter ended a couple weeks, it's not even been a couple of weeks, it's been like 1 week. But I feel like I've been basking in of everything I've been missing. So I've just dove into knitting. I've been devouring books. I've been watching shows with my husband, and I've been loving every second of it. So I do want to share a few of the highlights. I'm sure I'm forgetting some of the shows and books that I have loved. But let's start with books. This book, you guys, I downloaded it onto my Kindle and was reading it. A lot of times I listen because I like to listen to books, audiobooks when I knit. This one, I like to physically read nonfiction, and I like to listen to fiction. That's kind of the breakdown of how I like to read. So this was a nonfiction book, and I don't think I have ever read a book faster, fiction or nonfiction, than this book. It's called Murder in the Dollhouse by, I don't remember who wrote it. I'm sorry. I'm looking for my iPad because I could look it up, but I don't have it here. It's just came out recently. I could not stop reading this book. It was the kind of book that you're holding it while you walk because you just can't put it down and you run the risk of running into a wall. I think I read it in just 5 days. It was so compelling. I couldn't put it down. If you like true crime, I highly recommend it. It was just such an incisive commentary on, privilege and just our society and how I feel how misled we are so much of the time, and that we just are all we want is money and status. And even when we know better, we think we're going to be happier if we have these things, and we never are. And this book kind of takes that to the extreme. And I really, really loved it. It was so, so good. Highly recommend it. The other book that I just finished, I devoured it on audiobook, was Notes on Infinity. I believe that's what it's called. I keep thinking it's Notes from Infinity, but I think it's Notes on Infinity. I believe the author is Austin Taylor. I'm not sure on that either. It came out very recently also. If you liked Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, which is one of my favorite books of all time, favorite books of all time, it's sort of like that. I feel like the first third or almost a half was good, but not great. And then the second half was just great, and I couldn't stop listening to it. So highly recommend that one. What else am I reading? Right now I'm reading Dead Money. I think that's what it's called. Don't remember the author, but it's pretty good. Not great yet, but I'm only, maybe 15% done. So it's good. I definitely will. I want to keep reading. It is a mystery, and I'm really enjoying it. As far as shows, the best show I have watched in so long, if you like, it reminded me of The Bourne Identity in the whole Jason Bourne series. It's called The Day of the Jackal. It's based on a novel. It is on Peacock. We subscribed to Peacock for Long Bright River, which is a book that I really loved. I thought the series was kind of meh, and since it's a mystery and I already knew what the mystery, every aspect of it, because I read the book, it just kind of was like boring, and my husband didn't really like it. But we had already paid the $13 or whatever, so I Googled best shows on Peacock, saw The Day of the Jackal, and I love that actor, Eddie Redmayne. He's so good, and he's so good in this series. I can't recommend it enough. It's one of those series that there was not one thing I would change about it, and it was long. There were a lot of episodes, and it just never got boring or dumb or anything like that, where you're just like, this isn't believable, and you're just rooting for this character. If you haven't seen it and you like that kind of show, I am so jealous that you have it in front of you, because it is 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. On the lighter side of things, we watched Sirens. I think it was on Netflix, and that was so good. Not usually the kind of book show I like, but was really just fun and summery, and I loved it. Julianne Moore is so fantastic. And then we also watched Four Seasons with Tina Fey and Steve Carell, and other funny people. And it was also really, really cute and good and fun. And I really like that one. So I feel like we've been on a roll with shows. I have a couple. Oh, and we watched Hacks, the season 3 of Hacks, which was pretty good. Always loved Jean Smart. I think she is one of the best actresses of all times. I think she's so funny, and that season was great. And that might be it. The other show that I'm really looking forward to coming back this summer, is The Gilded Age. It's on HBO Max. It's by the creators of Downton Abbey, and I loved Downton Abbey, and I loved The Gilded Age, and I cannot wait for it to come back. It's like, opulent costumes and but still good storylines, So anyway, that's what we're watching. Those are the books I've read that are very well worth recommending. I have so much to read and watch this summer, because I know once I go back to school in the fall, it's going to be back to barely reading, barely knitting, barely doing anything that fun, which is fine. I love school, but this summer I'm going to just take in as much as humanly possible, because I know I have about 10 to 12 weeks, and then that's it. And I'm going to enjoy them. Sorry, my throat is getting dry. Other than that, I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for watching. If you've come back, I'm so sorry for my irregularity. It just can't be helped, honestly. And I figure it's better to post once in a while than just completely stop posting at all, because I really love our time together. I love sharing what I'm knitting and all that with you guys. So thank you for watching. I'm so sorry. My throat, my voice has lost the skill of talking for an hour. I will leave you. So I'll stop coughing in your face. I'll see you next time. Take good care. Bye.